God bless you today, guys. I hope your day so far has been amazing. If not, then guess what? Now is the time to change it. You know what? I just want to encourage you a little bit because I'm going for a run. I got my headphones on. I'm listening to a study on Isaiah. Specifically, it's about chapter 45, Isaiah 45. And I didn't know what chapter it was, but what's amazing about it is, and I had heard this before, that half of Isaiah was written to people in the future. So it's kind of like if I wrote a story right now or a book and I told people, hey, in 150 years, this is what's going to happen. And imagine me writing to somebody, specifically by name, the president of the United States in 150 years. And I wrote it right now and said, hey, President Jackson, this is what happened in your life. I set you up and I created you to be the senator and then ultimately the president. And so therefore, because I have put you in this position, I want you to let all of the Christians who have been oppressed to be set free. And what's amazing is that exact thing happened in Isaiah 45 to the King of Persia. His name was Cyrus. And what's phenomenal is that Isaiah wrote it 150 years before it came to be. And I'm studying this and I'm thinking about this and I'm like, what? That's impossible. Surely people just wrote Isaiah afterwards. Like once he was part of it, once he had, Cyrus had become king. Well, what's hard about that is, number one, history tells us that King Cyrus was actually presented with the book of Isaiah and he saw his name in there. And that's why the people of Israel were set free and allowed to be sent home. So what's amazing is if you look at Isaiah yourself, Isaiah 45, then you can totally see the language that was written in such a way as to somebody who did not know who God was. It would make no sense whatsoever to go and write that chapter after Cyrus had already been put to be king. It wouldn't make any sense. But if you read it as it's historically accurate to read it, if you read it just as the way it is written, it makes 100% sense. Now, it seems impossible, but that's the kind of thing that you have to do, is allow yourself to believe things if they just make sense. You know, for instance, I've heard people describe Jesus as three things. He was either a liar, a lunatic, or Lord, because when he said, I am the Son of God, well, either he knew he wasn't the Son of God and he was just lying to everybody, and he claimed to be something he's not. But if you look at the history of the world, I mean, clearly he wasn't just some liar. Or maybe he was a lunatic where he really thought he was God's son, or he really thought he was God. But if that were the case, then how come everybody who saw him be put to death came back and worshiped him and continued to follow him even after he was put to death? It wasn't just because he put the master manipulator Yoda trick on him. It was because he really was who he said he was. He was Lord. And he proved it by dying on the cross and then coming back to life. And that's why I want to encourage you today. Maybe you're in a position right now where you're watching this video and you think, surely this isn't an accident. Well, no, it's not. God has ordained you to come to him since before the world even began. But you have the option whether or not you want to accept him. He's already accepted you. That's why he made you to begin with. That's why he sent Christ to die for you, is because he wants you in his life. He wanted to prove his eternal love to you by allowing you to be here on earth, even though you would sin against him. And he would send his son to die for you and to raise back a life to prove who he was. And so, guys, I just want to encourage you a little bit today. Allow God to show himself to you, because what you'll see is an amazing thing. You'll see a God who loves you, cares for you, and has orchestrated all things since the beginning of the world. I mean, look at this tree right behind me. Even the trees know to grow straight up toward the sky, because that's where the sun is. And I want to encourage you guys to reach out to Christ. Reach up, right out to where God is. He wants to answer your prayers, guys. So remember, I love you. God loves you. God's with you. Be blessed.